Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're gonna have a look at the Jinhao 9019. This pen comes in a plain bubble envelope and retails for about $10, which makes it the most affordable large pen. It's made out of transparent injection molded plastic and it has gold colored trim. On the top of the cap we see an injection molding mark and then a clip that is borrowed from Pilot Emperor series. Functionally, it's a little bit stiff, but somewhat usable. The cap then tapers up towards the metal trim ring that's engraved Jinhao Dadao 9019. The body then continues towards the other cone-shaped end, and we again see an injection molding mark on the bottom. The cap unscrews in 1, 2 and a half rotations, which gives us access to the stainless steel number 8 sized medium nib with an interesting heartbeat shaped slit. And on the back we see a plastic feed. The nib and the feed can be pulled out of the nib unit. However, I wasn't able to unscrew the nib unit from my pen. The section is fairly large. At the narrowest point it's 12.5 millimeters wide, then tapers up to about 14.5 millimeters. It has a little bit of flaring on the bottom, and we can see the injection molding mark in the plastic. The injection molding mark is also visible on the nib body. The threads are machined well and they aren't sharp to touch. Unscrewing the pen body gives us access to the oversized converter, which has a capacity of about 1.7 milliliters. That's more than some of the piston-filled fountain pens. The converter works well. It's lubricated from the factory. The converter screws into the section, and while plastic threads into metal threads is not ideal, this is fairly common even on much more expensive pens, so I'm gonna say that's fine. Threads on the section here are metal, and there is an O-ring that helps the body from unscrewing accidentally. For the money, the construction is very solid. I really have no complaints. It's a fairly large pen. However, at 14.7 centimeters, it's not absurdly large. Here it is next to the Majora Alpha and the Lamy Safari. Uncapped, it's just 13 centimeters long, so a completely conventional length, very comparable to the Majora or the Lamy Safari. It posts okay, it's not super secure, but quite usable. And despite the 165mm length, the cap only adds 11 grams out of 30 total, so it's not too back-weighted. Okay, let's have a look at how it writes. So this is the Jinhao 9019 with a medium nib, and the ink is diamine steel blue. This nib has a little bit of feedback, and it was well aligned out of the box. It makes about 0.65 millimeters line, which is a proper Western medium. Hard starts There were some hard starts from bottom to up direction, and I had more issues with some other inks, so I believe this nib has a small baby's bottom, which is common for Jinhao's medium nibs. Skipping. I think the feed cannot really keep up with super fast writing. However, most of the time it's fine, unless you try to flex the nib. So let's have a look at that. This is a very soft nib, and yeah, it will railroad just after a couple of words, which is a shame because otherwise it would be a really fun nib. Reverse. It's relatively smooth and the ink keeps flowing. You get maybe like a Western extra fine line out of it. Horizontal and vertical stroke variation. Again, we had some skipping there. There is a little bit of horizontal and vertical stroke variation, which is nice. And wetness. It's fairly wet. No need for adjusting wetness to my preferences. Overall, it's okay. I just wish it did not have baby's bottoms as many other Jinhao medium nibs. Maybe I should have gone for a fine or an extra fine. I prefer wide sections, and even for me this is on the upper limit of what I consider to be comfortable. It works well, but you really have to make sure that you would be okay with a section this wide. My only complaint regarding the ergonomics is that I wish that the cap posted a little bit more securely. Just a couple of wiggles and the cap is gone, so I prefer to use this pen unposted. I was quite pleasantly surprised by this pen. I like the oversized number 8 nib, the oversized converter, and the build quality is completely fine for the price point. I would say even better than average. I also like the colors that Jinhao chose for this model. Most of them are interesting and I really like the green one that I have. My only complaint about this pen is that the nib has a small baby's bottom. I will have to work on that to get rid of the hard starts. But I really like the heartbeat nib design. Still a pretty good deal for $10. You don't get number 8 nib and the oversized converter on any other pen in this price range. Just maybe pick a fine nib instead of the medium. But that's all for today. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!